Oh, what's good, baby?
Salute, salute, salute.
So, man, it's been
Yeah,
so
salute,
long
man.
since I
Yeah,
seen
man.
your face,
Yeah, man.
man. And you know what's crazy? This was so random. I seen you recording online. I
Yep.
said, yo, you know what? I gotta talk to Freezy. So I gotta talk to Freezy. Shouts to CW Flash. I gotta talk to
Salute.
Freezy. Freezy was one of those people who actually like accepted me in the Knicks community years ago. Without Freezy, there'd be no state. You see, I'm in my dark night mode. I'm in my
Yeah,
dark
we
night
ain't talking.
mode.
Yeah, man.
I'm in my dark night mode because that's how the Knicks had me feeling. But
Yeah.
Freezy, I turned over a new leaf today. When Thibodeau got let go, because I'm not gonna say fired, I'm gonna be respectful of that man.
Yeah, yeah.
When he got let go, the first thing I thought about, and it's just me thinking about Leon Rose was, oh, you got some cojones. How do you feel about the playoffs? I haven't spoken to you in a long time, so I didn't know. I don't know like none of your feelings about the playoffs. How you feel about the playoffs?
And the playoffs was whack.
Mm-hmm.
Playoffs was whack. I mean, not whack in the sense that I'm not. It wasn't whack. Like I'm mad we beat Boston, but man, come on, dog. How long you gonna have to wait? You know what I'm saying? This is right here supposed to be the year. This right here is supposed to be the year. I don't believe in championship windows, bro. Because one
Me
broken
neither.
bone, a torn ligament, bro, it throw everything off. Look at Boston.
Yes.
I don't believe in championship window, bro. I feel like every year you got to be going for it. Every year you ain't going for it, you losing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm glad we beat Detroit. I'm glad we beat Boston. And the Indiana thing just make me mad because we should have beat them last year. And we lost them last year, we lost them this year, man. And so, yeah, that's what it is.
Yo, that for Andrew Nemhard to hold Jalen Brunson to 38% from the field and 30% from three, the first thing I thought about this offseason was a ball handler. How you feel about that? Because now that Thibodeau's out,
You
I'm
know, I've been talking about a ball handler since, but you not been talking about a ball handler, bro. What team has one ball handler, bro?
right.
Deuce is not a point guard, bro. Deuce is like a tiny wing player.
He's a shooting guard. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's not a
he ain't
point guard.
no.
Yeah,
Yeah, he not that.
no.
Oh, we need some long rangy athletes, man. A ball handler, man. Somebody when they trap Brunson, you know what I'm saying? That we can attack from other places.
Mm-hmm. I
You,
agree.
you, yeah, you know what I'm saying? You got to go get you a guy. You got to go get you I'm not saying move Jalen Brunson to the 2. What I'm saying though is we need another ball handler.
We badly. And when I did my little off season thing, I'm gonna try to like share the screen with me and you. When I did my all season thing, I made sure I looked at the CBA. I made sure that I did all of the trades that was necessary in the CBA, and I used the contracts that was necessary to the roster. So the first thing I came up with, I said, Josh Hart, love you. Love your services. Love the Roommates podcast, brother. You make 19.5 million. I can't do some of these trades without your contract.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, um, the 4 guys that I got on my list, and we just gonna get right into it. I got Jalen Green. He makes $33.9 million. Why state? Why do you got Jalen Green? What's the starting lineup with Jalen Green? The starting lineup: Brunson, Jalen Green, OG Anunoby. The 4. The 4 is the question mark. The 4 is the question mark there, but I still got Cat. So I'm gonna throw Cat at the 5, but the 4 is the question mark there. But Jalen Green, Brunson, OG, Cat, I could work with that.
Mitchell Robinson and Josh Hart's money will get you Jalen Green though.
Am I willing to trade?
I don't want to trade Mitch, though. I don't want to trade Mitch.
That's and you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. Every single trade that I did and that went through fan spoke, none of them had Deuce, none of them had Mitch.
What can you do? What can you?
I'm telling you, right? So for Jalen Green, it's tricky because you could get Jalen Green and you could the Jake Lockdale guy. He makes about $8 million, right? You got Mikal Bridges, you got Josh Hart. Would I do that deal? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Of course. Yeah.
Yes. Freezy, why would you do that deal? Before we go to the next guy that
I don't even like Jalen Green.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I like the thought of what Jalen Green can bring to your team.
Me too.
Athletic backcourt player with upside to be a dynamic scorer if things click. His defense scares me a lot.
Yes.
Right? He gives me Dwayne Wade vibes on the high end, right? And Malik Monk vibes on the low end. Yes. Right. And I know that's a wide variance of a wide range of outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's probably what the Knicks need is a guy that can get them buckets and bunches without the fear of ever being double teamed. This man, if we get him, he will never be double teamed with Brunson and Cat on the floor. That means that man legitimately can use his elite athleticism and offensive skills to get buckets all day. You cannot bring the double off of him, off of say a Cat or a Brunson, because one of the things that people forget is that Cat and Brunson are our best high volume 3-point shooters.
Yes.
So if you add him to the mix, if you add the slashing aspect of his game, now you're talking about an unstoppable type offense. But what will your defense look like?
Yes, a lot of players like Cat and Green will have to commit to defense. The second person on my list, because I only had 4 people, right? And all 4 people, I did multiple trades. I'll make sure I write a Substack on it. I can't write the Substack tonight, but I had been putting information together. But I made sure I did all of the trades before I put these names out there, just to get a feel of how people feel. The next name on the list is LaMelo Ball. And the only reason why I believe that he would be great on the Knicks, one, we have Casey Smith. Casey Smith was the best rated medical doctor in basketball last season. He won an award. And I feel like our infrastructure is great. And one of the main things I want to do, I want to prolong Jalen Brunson's prime. How can I do that? I need an elite ball handler who's at least 6'7", who's not scared to tell Brunson, hey, you go F yourself. You go in the corner. I'm going to run this pick and roll with Cat and one of these other wings that I'm with, and I'm going to get them right. You just chill, though. I got you, big dog. And I need a guy like that. Also, when it comes to Charlotte, why would Charlotte give up LaMelo Ball? If the Knicks would give up, and from what I got, if the Knicks would give up a Mikal Bridges, if you would give up a Josh Hart, if you would give up a OG Anunoby, what's the idea from the Hornets? We're going to build around Brandon Miller. We got the 6th overall pick in the draft. We don't know if we could get Dylan Harper, right? We want to change our culture. How do we change our culture? We go get a guy who's coming from a winning program like the Knicks, who's coming from winning. We're going to bring him over here, and he's going to tell these dudes over here, hey, get it together. But we're building around Brandon Miller. And we're also trying to get off of this $50 million contract because we're a small market team. And
well, you don't have to do the deal direct. You can do a 3 or 4 team trade where Charlotte don't even need to get the players. You could trade them players to Phoenix and have Phoenix send their draft picks to Charlotte instead, and then the Knicks get LaMelo, where everybody will basically win because Phoenix.
Who will we send out though? You will have to send out players. You get what I'm saying? And
but you'll send them to Phoenix.
Why would you say that, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah. So say just for instance, whoever the third or fourth team is, say a team that is the 7th or the 8th seed in a conference, they think they're 1 or 2 pieces away from contending for a championship. Say you're who knows? Say you're the
Grizzlies.
Say you're the Warriors.
Warriors, okay.
Say you're the Warriors, right? You can get the Warriors draft picks sent to Charlotte, right? And you can send the Warriors Josh Hart and OG or whoever. I'm not for trading OG. You know what I'm saying? Nigerians got to stick together.
Me
neither.
I'm not. Yo. A lot of these trades, I try to keep OG out, but continue. Yeah. I apologize for interrupting.
Yeah, no doubt. I just wanted to state that for me for the record. So, because people won't know me for over here. But, yeah, man, if you, for LaMelo Ball, the best thing to do in order to extend Jalen Brunson's career, right? Because remember, little guards in this league don't last, right? Remember the last dynamic guard that was Jalen Brunson's size was maybe Isaiah Thomas. Remember Isaiah Thomas?
30 years ago.
I'm talking about Isaiah Thomas from 7 years ago.
Oh, the Celtics. Yes.
Yeah.
He was very dynamic. Yeah, you got to hit that in the league. Yep.
Yeah. So you know, the little guards, they just don't last in this league. And so you can either do one thing, get all you can get out of for Jalen Brunson and then trade him, or you can try to extend his career. And in the LaMelo Ball case, where you're talking about trying to extend his career, you can extend both careers by lightening the load on LaMelo Ball and lightening the load on Jalen Brunson, right? By moving a piece or two here or there. Now, if you go in on LaMelo Ball, you got to understand the coach that you bring in has to be the ideal coach for an all offensive team that's gonna try to present some form of defense.
To ask you this question, you think Indiana's an all offensive team? Because I think Indiana could guard 1 through 5 through a lot of positions, and I think that's part of the reason why they beat us. What do you say?
They beat us. I think they beat us with this thing called strength by numbers. Right. The Indiana is so deep that they could just throw bodies out there at you constantly throughout the game. Man, they played Jarris Walker, bro. You don't feel disrespected by the fact they told Jarris Walker to take his warm-ups off? They played a dude named they played OG Anunoby center in college, the kid Bryant. What's the dude that was hitting the corner three? You don't feel disrespected by the fact that they played that dude Thomas Bryant? Bro, that's the most disrespectful shit you ever seen in your life, bro. You know what I'm saying? Thomas Bryant. Come on, bro. So, yeah. So, Indiana beat us by like that. I'm with you. I understand where you're coming from. I still, though, believe that you still have to have a Rick Carlisle type coach to even think about that.
It's interesting for me because of the way we lost. Now that you look back on the season, I want to know your thoughts on OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges, because I was harsh on Mikal. 5 first-round picks. This guy is garbage, in my opinion. I don't like his game. I don't think he has the mental makeup to be a New York Knicks long-term. And in my opinion, with the new coach, what I think management should do is have that new coach with 3 all-stars in his starting lineup. I think that's imperative for him to have that. I think you owe it to that new coach, because we're following Tibbs' legacy now. Don't let Tibbs' legacy die in vain. Don't let all that win and not experience, because I'm not a 90s Knicks fan.
Right.
So how you feel about that, OG?
I would say this to you. from the time he got here, I felt like Tibbs used everybody wrong. I feel like, and now, mind you, I don't have an axe to grind with Tibbs. I like Tibbs. I just didn't like some of the stuff that I saw. Right. But since I think he used Brunson wrong. I think he used Bridges wrong. I think he used OG wrong. I think he used Cat wrong. Right. Like how was a dude like, and I'm gonna speak to Bridges, right? But how do you have a dude like Cat that at the time before Cat hurt his hand, Cat was shooting 48% from three, and you not allowing that man to shoot threes, right? And so, but at the same time that Cat was shooting 48% from three, OG Anunoby was leading the NBA in dunks because a defense can't be in two places at one time. You feel me? Like if Cat is bringing your big away from the rim, and most wing players are not either big enough, strong enough, athletic enough, or experienced enough to stop OG from getting to the rim, then why are you not just keeping this thing intact? And I think he also did the same thing with Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges is the NBA Iron Man, right? Mikal Bridges is built slight of frame, right? And all Tom Thibodeau did all year was force that man to go headfirst into screens all year on defense. Screen that man half to death. And so then now when he get back on offense, he don't have no legs in his jumper. Mikal Bridges has never been the dude that rammed himself into screens, right? That's how he stayed healthy, right? By not going in this, by shadowing, right? And then hitting timely shots on offense, right? And so Tibbs, to me, misused the guys. Now, is that an indictment on Mikal Bridges' career? I would say no, right? I would say, man, just be patient with my guy. He had a bad season in which he was misused. The organization saw that and made a coaching change. So just be patient with my guy. And the new coach will come in right away. And remember, this dude is built like Reggie Miller, right? He's not built like Anthony Edwards, right? So you have this thing where guys are misused. Yeah. Now, if you can trade him up now in the LaMelo trade, hey man, my man got to go. But if it's not one of those deals where you're getting an elite player, I'm saying keep Bridges.
So the next person that I have on the list, Giannis. And listen, I would love Giannis, man. Oh my God. But see, I would love Giannis with Brunson and Cat. I'm trying to win a championship. I don't know what other Knicks fans trying to win. I don't know if you just really dislike Cat, and I really want you to. Matter of fact, let's talk about that real quick. Karl-Anthony Towns had a hit piece come out about him literally an hour after the game. The very next day, W fan comes out. They call Karl-Anthony Towns a loser. Couple of hours later, you go up there, Stephen A. Smith. He's saying, oh, Thibodeau, he underachieved. How? I've been speaking to you for years, Freezy. They traded 8 first-round picks to put this roster together.
Right. So
speaking. Matter of fact, go ahead. Matter of fact, I have nothing else to say. Go ahead.
So my bad. But so the thing is when it comes to WFAN, we understand that they in clickbait mode, right? They need these clicks. Like some of these outlets, they need these clicks in order to survive, right? The thing is, how do you say one player or so messed up the roster when you barely got the opportunity to see the roster together healthy? You didn't see the roster together healthy until March 1st when Mitch came back, right? When Mitch came back, that's when you got to see the roster healthy, right? But Mitch was out all the way to March 1st. OG Anunoby missed the first 21 games, right? Landry Shamet came back. Landry Shamet missed 34 games, 32 games, I think, something like that.
True.
Right. And so you got all these guys missing games. And so how are you going to blame Cat when you know Cat was injured all season? To me, Cat offensively played like a G. And if you get the right coach, if you get a coach that believes in offense a little bit, Cat might be 28 points and 14 rebounds next season.
Easy.
Shooting
Easy.
Just if he believe in a coach that believe in offense would be like, listen, man, Cat. Matter of fact, I'll tell you a thing, man. Mm-hmm. All season long, Cat go to the rim and get accosted. Cat gets the worst whistle in the NBA. We all know that.
Yes.
We all know that. But Tom Thibodeau never got a technical foul. Like, Tibbs, how do the fans see this? Right? How do the fans see this? And then you not even get a technical foul. You don't even go off on the refs about Cat getting accosted at the rim. What are we talking about? What are we out here doing? What are we out here doing? You feel me? It's one of them things, man, where I feel like in a perfect world, Mikal Bridges has to step his game up.
Yes.
Right? You gotta get Jalen Brunson some help in the backcourt.
Yes.
You gotta get something off your bench.
Yes.
Right. Now, with all of that said, how do you do that? Can you just get it just through coaching? Probably. But you probably have to make some type of move. I really like the LaMelo move. I really like the Jalen Green move. Right.
Okay.
But in order to
what about the Giannis move? I mean
you know who Giannis is, bro? Go
ahead.
Giannis is former league MVP, NBA champion.
Yeah,
top five MVP candidate every year. Every year he healthy, he top 5 MVP candidate.
Yo, I would love Giannis with Cat, bro. I'm like that front court right there. If you know what team, remember the New Orleans Pelicans where AD and Cousins was healthy?
Yep.
And they was bodying the whole Western Conference.
And Boogie was a triple-double threat every night.
Boogie got hurt.
So was Achilles.
So we got Casey Smith. I love Casey Smith. I love Casey Smith. He kept OG upright. I call OG Paperman.
Right.
The front court with Cat and Giannis is so dominant. All you need what I would start with that, me personally, what I would bank on, Freeze, and this is why I love you, Freezy, because you a person that will understand some crazy diabolical nonsense.
Appreciate it.
I'm about to say to you. I would love for Pacone Daddy to start with those two. Like, that's how diabolical I am. And in the Giannis trade, Leon, you don't give up Cat. Give up either OG or Mikal. The other person that's left out of OG and Mikal, you tell them, bro, you gonna have to get your weight up.
Right.
We gonna have to bank on one of the young boys.
Right.
But that would be my high-end great scenario in my crystal ball. How you feel about the Giannis lineup? You got Jalen Brunson. Oh, and another thing too, we in a coaching search. If Sam Cassell comes through, Sam Cassell is somebody like that, right? Oh, Rajon Rondo, one of my favorite coaches, and we're gonna talk about the coaches soon, because I really want to know your opinion on every single coach that I bring to you. When it comes to Giannis, if you get Giannis, we got 5.8 in the MLE.
Right.
Go call Chris Middleton and tell Middleton, come over here and get a chip.
Right.
Come over, because I don't want to have to worry about Pacone Daddy. You get what I'm saying? I want him to play, but go get me an old head. Yo, Giannis, go call your man. Tell your man and we're gonna take care of him after.
Right.
How you feel about that? How you feel about that?
Yo, with Middleton, I mean, I don't care, bro. The thing is, when you got 5.8 in the MLE, and then You have Giannis. People know Giannis is coming to play with Brunson and Cat. You can get anybody to take that MLE. Bro, you can get anybody. Whoever, you get anybody, bro. Like, veterans legit to be lining up for that MLE, man. You feel me? Like you can get anybody to go.
What do you say to fans? And not to cut you off, I apologize, OG. What do you say to fans that say Giannis and Cat would be 100 mil together? Not quite. What do you say to them?
You're gonna spend the money anyway. The Knicks spent 170 something million this year anyway, and so what?
You know how much they made off the playoff run? 183 million.
That's a lot of money, bro. That's a lot of money. You know what I'm saying?
What's your thoughts on Giannis though, and a great lineup that you would love to see with Giannis? And then we could get the next person, the fourth person in my lineup. Knicks fans, there's 366 in here listening. Every single person that we're talking about, Jalen Green, LaMelo Ball, we're on Giannis right now. I did all of the trades in SPO. I made sure I respected the new CBA. Go ahead. What's your line? What's your thoughts?
So here's the thing with how I feel about Giannis. In my honest opinion, I love Giannis as a player. I love the what Giannis can bring to an organization. Right. My only fear is that big, tall athletes, once they get on the other side of 30, start to break down a little bit. Right. What does Giannis have in his bag that will keep him relevant for the next 3 to 4 years? Because we would want him for the next 3 to 4 years at least. If he's still great after that time, then keep him after that time.
I would want him to retire.
You're right. So what do we have to backfill that roster when you kind of give these veterans some rest, get off their knees, all of that, off their feet, and all of that? Like, what's your backup plan? Well, the backup plan has to be young, inexpensive, high ceiling players that can assume certain playoff roles when the playoffs get here, right? Like how Denver did with Christian Brown.
Yes, Christian Brown.
Yeah. And the other guy, the Spanish guy, Peyton, whatever his name is.
Yeah, I can't think of his name, OG.
Yeah.
I got you
so you got to backfill that roster, knowing that Cat is going to be on the other side of 30. Giannis is going to be on the other side of 30, and in a year and a half, Jalen Brunson is going to be on the other side of 30. Not saying that 30 is old, but you got to start being careful.
So in the trade, just staying with Giannis, in the trade that I got with Giannis coming to the Knicks, the person that I got in that deal was Jalen Smith. Jalen Smith is 20 years old. So what I'm doing here, in every deal that I've made, I'll make sure I write a good Substack on this and be very detailed on this. I made sure I got Giannis. I made sure I got Jalen Smith, and that was for the reason that you just said.
Right.
And when you think of Giannis and Cat and Brunson, who would be the best two ideal players to put next to those three, in your opinion?
I would say take the Milwaukee mold from a couple of years ago, where they had dudes like Dante and Pat Connaughton and the shooting guard from Duke. I forgot his name, but do a rotation like that at the two, and then get some young bouncy wings to go along with them, like the guy you just mentioned, and maybe I think Kev McCullough and Pakham Dadier could fill those roles.
Grayson Allen. Thank you. This is why we got to chat. This is why you got to chat. Chat. You'll love you, chat. Let me put you up
no
there.
doubt.
Thank you, Alfonso. Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, no doubt. That's how I would fill it. And then go get you a cheap, inexpensive center. You don't even need offense, right? Because as long as you have Giannis, Cat, Brunson, and some guys that can hit shots, offense won't ever be the issue. You just need You just need guys to keep them fresh through the 82 games.
But who is my direct question, just to put you on the spot, who is the person that you would keep? So you would have to trade either OG or Mikal. Who's the person that you would keep? If you trade Mikal, you're under the premise that, okay, I got to give up Josh Hart or Mitchell Robinson in that deal as well.
Right.
So what do you say to that?
Hey, man, I would trade either. I don't have a preference. For we talking about for Giannis.
Yeah.
Talking about the trade block, like who you put on trade block. See, if it was a trade block, I'm like, nah, man, I don't want to trade either. But for Giannis, bruh. And OG is my guy.
I love OG. OG with Giannis with Cat.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money though. But I don't think but that's when the CBA comes in. I think like the Knicks would try to tell the Milwaukee Bucks, hey, I give you Mikal, and you get the #1 overall pick next season.
Yeah. Milwaukee gonna get it anyway because the Adam Silver gonna make sure they get the #1 pick, like how they did Dallas and Luka.
So, you know that shit.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man, and whatever it takes to get Giannis, I'm with it. Like legit, whatever it takes to get Giannis Giannis is a top 10 player all time, right? And so if you
who you better than all time?
Did I say top 10? I meant to say top 20. I meant to say top
20. But who he better than all time?
I'm
gonna put you on the spot. Baby. Who he better than all time?
Yeah, Giannis. I think Giannis is better than Kevin Durant, right? And I saw something where people have him ranked 14th.
I would. Yes, I agree with that.
I would also say this. There are some people in the top 10 that I think are benefactors of other players that are in the top 10, right? Like Shaq and Kobe. Like, how you gonna have Shaq and Kobe in the top 10? That's crazy. How you gonna have Magic and Kareem in the top 10? That's crazy, right? When both of those dudes played together, that means they fed off each other, right? So I don't know. I would say I would put him in right behind Larry Bird, probably in about 9th or 10th right now. Right, somewhere 9 or 10. I'll say this. I'll say this. I think Giannis is better than Dr. J. So if Dr. J is 9, I'll say Giannis is better than Dr. J.
How is Doc? So just I'm putting you on the spot again because I haven't seen Freezy in so long. Freezy, I'm gonna keep putting you on the spot. How good is Dr. J before we get back to this Giannis? Because I got a start lineup for you about Giannis. But how good was Dr. J? And what's your thoughts about the ABA merging with the NBA and what that did for the NBA at the time? Because when I looked at the past of the NBA, they was going through a drug problem during the 80s. And, you know, Dr. J was one of the great players in the 80s. And I know the Celtics came back from 3-1. And that's probably one of the reasons why they traded for Moses Malone. But what's your thoughts about, you know, Dr. J, his greatness, him coming to Rucker Park, and just all of that? What's your thoughts about
for this generation? Because this generation is probably not your generation. You're too old for that, right? Mm-hmm. But just for the people, for the young people, think about if you're a Timberwolves fan right now, and you constantly see Anthony Edwards do amazing stuff. Like you see Anthony Edwards do so much amazing stuff that is ordinary to you. Like when you see Anthony Edwards legit cross somebody up and go to the rim, jump off 1 foot, and dunk with 2 hands in the crowd, you're like, yeah, Ant, we needed them 2 points. But if you're a Knicks fan, you're like, did y'all just see that? That man crossed up Lou Dort, got in the paint, jumped off 1 foot, dunked on 2 Oklahoma City Thunder players with 2 hands in the paint. That's what Dr. J was like. Like Dr. J would do stuff and you would like, you could not believe what you were seeing. Dr. J would do stuff like, yeah, Dr. J was amazing. Like for the people that saw Jordan for the first time, For the people that saw Vince Carter do stuff for the first time, if you were amazed by the Vince Carter dunk contest, then you would have been blown away by Dr. J. Because they had Dr. J listed at 6'7". I saw Dr. J in person. We probably about the same height, somewhere about 6'5" and some change, a little bit. I think he's taller than me, whatever it is, right? But yeah, Dr. J's greatness is crazy.
Yo, Freezy, it just continue it all. The starting lineup I have for you when it comes to Giannis, Karl-Anthony Towns, Giannis Antetokounmpo. We go get Kelly Oubre and we tell Kelly Oubre take the MLE, and we're gonna tell him to take the full MLE. So what we're gonna do is, yo, Oubre, all we need you to do, bro, spot up, be tough, play defense, right, and play off for guys. Right. If you got to tell one of those guys, go F yourself, go ahead. Because I trust you. I've seen you in the league for years. And I don't want to put my young boy, Pacome Daddier, in a situation where I got to just thrust him in the fire. So, Cat, Giannis, Kelly Oubre, Mikal Bridges, Jalen Brunson. And then off the bench, we got Deuce McBride. The player I'm going to use my vet minimum on, Russell Westbrook. Pacome Daddier gets, or Kevin McCullough Jr., whichever person you want to swap for. We got Ariel Huckaporty. We're going to trust you.
Yeah.
And then we got another wing. And whoever's going to sign, we got PJ Tucker still. Get them right. But how do you feel about, and Jalen Smith is coming in here too. So we could just play Jalen Smith out the gate. He's 20 years old. So now we got Pacome Daddier, who's 20. You got Jalen Smith, who's 20. They're young. You got Deuce McBride coming off the bench with Russell Westbrook, right? So Russell Westbrook, the Hall of Famer. So what Deuce going to do, if you got a guy like Russell Westbrook, and I know people want to say, what about Chris Paul and this, that, and the third? I would even go get Ben Simmons before Chris Paul. Go get a tall wing who could play me.
Yeah, I like Ben Simmons. I don't think Ben Simmons is broken. Okay. I don't think he's broken. I think Ben Simmons.
Broken how? Can you explain that fully? Because I had other fans tell me this, but I need to hear it from the OG. Shout out to the 463 fans who's in here right now. Appreciate y'all. I literally begged OG in the chat, like, yo, we got to do a show tonight. Like, we're not waiting no more. But
man. OG, salute y'all, man.
Talk to the people, man.
I don't think Ben Simmons is broken in the sense that he doesn't know how to play basketball or that he doesn't care about basketball. I think Ben Simmons is at a stage where, if deployed correctly, he can be a very valuable asset, right? Like, give an example. I think Ben Simmons probably presents you that somewhat of athleticism of the tall wing players like Giannis. Somewhat, I'm not saying he's as athletic as Giannis now because hadn't seen him fully fleshed because he's out playing on the West Coast. But what I would say is if you need a passer, if you need a defender, if you need a rebounder, if you need a screener, Ben Simmons can do all these things. Ben Simmons is basically what we'd like Josh Hart to be, except in a bigger, more athletic, more skilled package, right? That's basically what you'd like to have Ben Simmons to be, a triple-double threat, with points being the thing that will come up short. But the assists and rebounds would be there. I like Ben Simmons. I think you can, if you want to play Ben Simmons 20 minutes a night, every once in a while, you give him a night off to rest and recover, I think he's ideal. Now, the money has to reflect that, right? You can't just be Ben Simmons. Can't be like, nah, man, I need 31 to come in. Nah, man, give you no damn 31. No, take your ass to Greece. You know what I'm saying? But if we can get Ben Simmons for a reasonable dollar amount, I'd be all for it.
Yo, it's interesting because Ben Simmons is a name that, like, a lot of Knicks fans, they get on me, right, Freezy, because I'm different, right? I don't think like everybody else. I pride myself on being myself, and I think that's why you allowed me into the Knicks community once again, like Freezy, diehard Knicks podcast. Shout out to my guy Eru. Shout out to Startup Knicks fam. Shout out to my guy Apollo. Like, these are the three people who like allowed me to join Knicks community. Like, I still feel comfortable with these guys, and I felt like tonight was like the perfect night for me to actually like talk to you about this.
Right.
To be honest with you, Freezy, as a 35-year-old man, I'm kind of hurt that
Thibodeu, you
Thibodeu,
old as hell, bro.
yeah, man. I'm not really old.
That man old as hell, bro. Yo, you old as hell, OG.
I'm not, nah, man. They call me Alt. They call me Alt. Like, I can't get mad at the Alt words. Like, I can't get mad at the Alt words, man. They call me Alt, man. It'd be like, oh, come on. Like, why are you calling me that? Yeah, but since we're still on this, free agency thing, right? The last person I want to get to, Freezy, matter of fact, let me remove this so I can actually like, and shouts to Fred Wines and Liquor. Make sure you go get your liquor, Fred Wines and Liquor, 55 Malcolm X Boulevard. Shouts to the 494 Knicks fans that's in here. Freezy, Kevin Durant. He curved us in 2019. He makes 54, I think, like $0.5 million. And every single trade that I did for Kevin Durant, Freezy, I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't include Cat in the trade.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because if I'm James Dolan, and I didn't like the sniper rifles that everybody was pointing at Cat the last couple of days.
Me either. Yeah, I think that's soft.
That's mad soft, mad corny.
Yeah, that's soft, bro.
If you're a team owner and you're James Dolan, you just seen these two men in Brunson and Cat make you $832 million. Shout out to the 500 Knicks fans that's pulling up right now. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, man.
$832 million.
Right.
Why would he trade his cash cow? If I'm a team owner, pair Cat with KD and Brunson. Tell KD, yo, KD, who you want left? Because if I know KD and I know the way he operate, KD gonna be like, nah, keep Mikal. Yeah, like, keep my boy.
Yeah,
keep my boy. So what the Knicks will do is, we'll have to trade OG. Now on the Phoenix Suns side, if you're still building with a guy like Devin Booker and you want to get off cap space, you're like, okay, we'll take OG, we'll take another piece. But how do you feel about a starting lineup of, and I give you two trades, because the first trade is you're actually trading Cat, so we're not going to be biased. We're going to make sure we put everybody in deals. Everybody got to go, right?
Yeah.
No problem. No problem to the Knicks fans were saying, yo, why stayed in Freezy's not mentioning Cat?
Right.
Mitchell Robinson, Kevin Durant, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, Jalen Brunson. How you feel about that song five?
Championship. It's championship, bro. Legitimately, Kevin Durant can score from every splinter of wood in the half court. Kevin Durant can score from every ounce of wood in the half court. right? Mitchell Robinson erases everything. The only thing is, can you keep Mitchell Robinson healthy? Can you keep Kevin Durant healthy? Right? That's the thing. Can you keep them healthy? If you can keep that unit intact, it's a championship. What does the bench look like? Can you find you a Ryan Dunn? Can you find you guys like that to kind of sub in for Bridges and Durant and whoever?
That's where Pacome Daddy, like my boy Pacome Daddy. I hope he's in the gym right now.
I think if you get Durant, I'm not doing a Durant trade unless they give me Ryan Dunn. That's how I'm feeling. Like y'all
want. You feeling that gangster?
Yeah, they got to give me Ryan Dunn, bro. Because the thing is, I'm giving you a young up and coming stud wing player that's gonna give you another good 8 years. And you giving me a guy that might have given you one more great year.
37, yeah, 37. Yeah, you gotta give me Ryan Dunn.
Yeah, you gotta give me Ryan Dunn.
So what I didn't do, I didn't work the particulars with Ryan Dunn. OG, do you want to work those particulars now? It's the question.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying if we can make it work by just adding whatever 2 point. I think he made like somewhere under 3, like 2 points.
Under 3, so you would have to add like Aria Hakporti,
a Tyler Kolek,
Precious, or you could sign and trade Precious, or you can add a Tyler Kolek or somebody.
Yeah,
it depends. But with this Knicks team, what we want to make sure with Freezy, and what I made sure with all of these deals, we kept young guys.
Right.
Because I know the new coach gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna have my 3 All-Stars. I think that's what Dolan gonna do. He gonna get him 3 All-Stars.
Right.
He gonna get him 3. I don't care what Knicks fans think. He's gonna get his new coach 3 All-Stars.
Right.
With that said, you need a plethora of young guys. Plethora, because you're gonna be playing that luxury tax.
Yeah.
If he made 832 and he only paid the one and not the 2 luxury tax, I can't even think of the name of the joint right now. I'm confident, but what's your thoughts on what's your final thoughts on
the Kevin Durant thing?
Yeah. What's your final thoughts on KD? Would you trade Cat for him, or would you just go out on a limb and say, yo, you know what? I'm gonna pair Cat with KD with Brunson.
I'm gonna pair Cat and KD.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that because here's the thing. I don't think Kevin Durant is gonna be a Knick. You get Kevin Durant for like a 2-year window, because ideally you don't want a 39-year-old in your starting lineup, right? So when his money comes off the books, you're talking about $59 million coming off the books, but you still have the young guys, and so by the time KD comes off the books, you get 2 of your first-round picks back just by the calendar rolling over, right? The calendar rollover, you get 2 of your draft picks back. You also have the young guys. So that way, if you want to make a move for a guy to fill in for Kevin Durant, you can also always flip the Durant thing, like trade those young guys and those draft picks for a young and up-and-comer, like, I don't know, for like a young and up and comer, like out of the draft from 2 years ago, like somebody out of
any one of those young guys.
Yeah, you can whoever out of the Victor Wembanyama draft, you can get trade for somebody out of that draft.
Absolutely,
Brandon Miller.
Y'all like Brandon Miller's game.
Trade for Brandon Miller in 2 years after Kevin Durant come off by offering young guys and draft picks. Just food for thought. I don't think Charlotte will do it. It's just, something entertaining to think about.
That's a fact. So with that said, we got over the 4 guys. And one of the things, Freezy, that I want you to touch on, because we haven't spoken in a while, and I think Freezy is very important to the Knicks community, to the people who don't see him a lot.
Yeah, man.
I think Freezy, you should be highlighted more. I think a lot of people should look at your show more. I think it's unfair that a lot of people don't know where Uncle Freezy be at. Once again, this is one of the people who, if it wasn't for Uncle Freezy, you would see no state. I swear to God.
We rock together, yeah, man.
And damn, like you're around my father's age, so like I really appreciate you as a person, man. Thank you so much, man, for what you've done for me, man. Thank you so much, and to all the Knicks fans that continuously watch us. But you know, a lot of these players who I want to talk about tonight, Jesus Christ, damn, tears are coming to my eye, but I'll be okay.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
It's tough because I'm still mad at the Knicks losing like that. Matter of fact, I haven't asked you about this, and then we'll get to the free agency because that's already up there. How do you feel about the Knicks losing to Indiana 4 times straight? I haven't asked you about that.
I felt like Tibbs coached the worst series of his career. I feel like Tom Thibodeau coached the worst series of his career. It's nothing personal against Tibbs. I ain't, you know, these guys, man, I don't have an axe to grind against these guys. Man, game 1, bro. Game 1. Everybody, let me pick this microphone up, man. Yo, game 1 of the Indiana series was legitimately like watching Roy Hibbert block Carmelo Anthony at the rim. It was like Reggie Miller giving the choke sign to John Starks, right? It was like Antonio Davis and Dale Davis shoving Pat Ewing into the rim after a missed layup, right? It was like watching Pat Ewing miss a finger roll, right? We can lose to anybody. If we'd have lost this playoff series to the Orlando Magic, it would have meant nothing. But the fact that we choked away a playoff game to Indiana, what's going on? Have we not had enough? My question for the chat is when's the last time the Knicks made the Eastern Conference Finals before last week? You're going to tell me 2000 because you know your stuff, right? And then I'm going to ask you, what team was that we lost in the Eastern Conference Finals to? And if you know your stuff, you're going to tell me the Indiana Pacers, right? And so it should legitimately be a rock in your shoe that Tom Thibodeau against the Indiana Pacers got circles coached around him. Circles. The opposing coach is begging you to play certain players so it'll be competitive. And you're like, nah, I ain't going to do that. I'm just do this my way. This Indiana Pacers loss to me is worse than the Miami Heat loss from 2 years ago.
Yo, that loss hurt my
the one with Quentin Grimes, when Quentin Grimes had a wide open 3 in the corner to cut the one and he choked.
But he choked because he was 21 years old. Like he was a young boy.
He was a
you know what I'm saying? Like I'll take the young boys playing bad. Right. I can't take OG Anunoby giving me 11 points and you making $212 million, bro. Yeah. That's not how this works, bro.
I know. I know. The thing about it is you can't ask OG to guard his man and play center field, and then OG also give me 20 points a game. You don't ask Brunson to do it. Right? You don't ask Brunson to, hey, man, lock down Tyrese Halliburton and then give me 31. Nah, man. Come on, man. The thing with Tibbs, I was gonna say Tibbs got to go, but he already gone, bro. So I mean, what are we talking about?
That's true. You know so let's get to this free agency list, right? So the first name that I got here Marvin Bagley the third. The only reason why I got Marvin Bagley the third, yo, shouts to Billy. So you got him 3 years in a row. He gave the three, high draft pick, high level talent. Whoever the new coach is, I feel like he can unlock another level to Marvin Bagley. Also, if Mitchell Robinson was to get hurt or any Karl-Anthony Towns, I feel like Marvin Bagley III could fill in any role spot, and I feel like he could kind of compete for most improved player of the year if you get the right coach and it's the right setting. Because Mitchell Robinson and me, I want him to be my backup center. Like I don't want him to start at all. And I know people want him to start at the 4. So how do you feel about Marvin Bagley the third?
I'm a fan of Duke basketball. I've been a fan of Duke basketball since about 1984 or something like that. So it's been about 40. I've been a Duke fan for 40 years. That's why every time y'all ask me about a player from Duke, y'all ask me about RJ Barrett or Jason Tatum or Marvin Bagley or Wendell Carter or Gary Trent or Zion or Cam Reddish or Trey Jones, Tyus Jones. I'm always like, yo, they the GOAT, right? I like Marvin Bagley. My only thing with Bags is this. I think he is so offensive minded that he forget about the little stuff. Like he's so worried about buckets, he forget about the little things. If we can get him to clean up the little things, man, I think he could be 15-10. Right? But the thing about Bags is he don't want to be 15-10. That man want to be 25-10. You know what I'm saying? Like Bags, we can't feature you, bro. You ain't him like that. Not at this level, but you can be a solid role player. 15-8, 15-10. That's legit. You know, but Bags ain't gonna want that, bro. Bags gonna want to be. You bring him here with Cat, he gonna be like, Cat, give me the ball.
How do you feel about Dan Hurley? Because I'm gonna tell you, my connect who hit me up. I'm just telling you from my connect, right? I'm not gonna tell you who my connect is.
Nah, we ain't sharing blood.
Stay anonymous, and my connect just continues. Give me this information. Dan Hurley, how you feel about Dan Hurley?
You know, we grew up together.
Okay.
Me, Dan, Bob. Well, we didn't grow up together like that. Let me restate. We know each other. We knew each other really good before I joined the military, moved away. You know what I'm saying, and all that stuff. I went to Dickinson High, man. Them dudes went to St. Anthony's, right? I went to Dickinson High. We played Lincoln, Ferris, Academic, Marist, St. Aloysius, man, St. Pete, everybody. So when you were shorty growing up in Jersey City, like Raphael Addison, David Rivers, Uncle Freezy, Bob Hurley, Dan Hurley, Roderick Rhodes, all these names, bro. Like they would, I used to know them fellas real good, man, before I moved away, right? And so I kind of know or knew them, like how they were, right? If the Knicks hire Dan Hurley as the head coach, bro, it's a dream come true for me. Like that's one of the dudes that I feel like for fans like State, it'll be a dream come true. Not immediately, but after they see the results. Like after they see the results of him developing young players, him valuing young bouncy wings, him valuing and teaching ball handlers, right? Him like legitimately being great at crucial X and O's and schemes and situations late in games, right? He's gonna know all that stuff. You're never gonna question if he's prepared or not, because he is the son of possibly the greatest high school basketball coach ever, Big Bob, right? And so when you're talking about that and what he would bring to the Knicks, just imagine, bro, in Jersey City where we grew up, we could see Manhattan from our house. Like legit, I could go stand on my roof and see Manhattan every day. I could stand on my stoop and see the Statue of Liberty every day. Right? That's how much the city mean to people, to cats like me from Jersey City. To Dan Hurley, all he needs is a challenge. You give that dude a challenge, you're like, hey, here's your challenge if you choose to accept. Bring the Knicks 4 NBA championships. The first 2, he ain't even gonna be happy. The first, if you say, hey, your challenge is bring the Knicks 4 championships in 10 or 11 years, the first 2 chips, he ain't even gonna be happy about it. Right? We're gonna be going crazy. And he gonna be mad. This dude like is a perfect fit. He the perfect fit, bro. He took, I don't know if y'all ever heard this expression.
Mm-hmm.
The man that follows the legend has a hard time. You know how a legend is in a place and they submit themselves as a legend, and then the dudes that come after him have to kind of live in his shadow.
Yes, whoever come after Tibbs, bro, your minimum lost game count got to be 51.
Right, but here's the thing. The thing is, Dan Hurley went to UConn and was in the shadow of Gino Auriemma and Calhoun. And he won chips. You don't even remember that Calhoun coached UConn. You don't even remember the Rip Hamilton era, the Khalid El-Amin.
Oh, nah, I know Rip. I know Rip.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you don't remember that era now, because now you remember the Stephon Castle era, the Donovan Clingan era, where UConn won championships and was the best team in the country, right? Matter of fact, Fritz Alcindor told me the other day, or told me earlier, that Dan Hurley had a meltdown because they lost in the tournament. And he was like, yo, Dan Hurley had a meltdown, man, because they lost. I don't know if we could deal with that in the city. Bro, that tell you how passionate he is about winning and losing, bro. Don't you want your coach to be passionate about winning and losing? Yes.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. I felt like Tibbs lost his edge. I feel like Tibbs, because Tibbs used to be fiery. When you got no text during the season and you seeing your players getting mauled, I'm like,
come on, Tibbs.
Come on, Tibbs. You're not fiery no more, bro.
The Tiger done lost his stripes, bro. The Tiger done lost his stripes. He's just a cat. You ain't a Tiger no more, Tibbs.
You know I love Tibbs. He a Walk Hall of Fame. I try to tell people all the time. Like,
yeah, man.
But the next person on my list, Markelle Fultz. The way the Knicks are getting Markelle Fultz, obviously he will walk, and then he would take either the MLE or he would take either the vet minimum. But I like when he was healthy, and I'm banking on the infrastructure and Casey Smith being one of the best medical doctors in basketball. The person after that is Nickeil Alexander-Walker. So how the Knicks would get Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Naz Reid would have to re-sign. Julius Randle would have to walk to some other team, and they would do a sign and trade. And then Nickeil Alexander-Walker would find his way to the Knicks. How he would find his way to the Knicks, Karl-Anthony Towns played with him already. So I think that's a good connection there. I have no other connection there. After that, I got Brandon Boston Jr. I like Brandon Boston Jr. That's me personally. After Brandon Boston Jr., I got Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton, if you go get Giannis is going to ask for Chris Middleton. And I will love him to come to the squad because he's going to come for the low. So that's a double player package. I would love that. Then you got Clint Capella, right? Clint Capella is in the case of the Knicks trade Mitchell Robinson and we trying to look for a big, and Clint Capella like, all right, cool, I'll take the MLE. Okay, cool. I'll take Clint Capella just to make sure Ariel Hocaporti, I ain't got to thrust him in the rotation immediately. Then you got Garrison Yabusele. You got Kevin Knox II. Okay, we know about Kevin Knox. Chris Paul.
Right.
Kelly Oubre Jr., Russell Westbrook, Bruce Brown, Ben Simmons, D'Angelo Russell. What's your thoughts?
How many of these players can I take?
With the MLE, so it's tricky, right? It's very tricky. You would have to go in a trade. You would have to trade like 3 players, bring back 2. Then after that, you would have to renounce a lot of players like Precious Achiuwa and a lot of guys.
Yeah.
After you renounce all of those guys, you would still have players like Josh Hart and others under contract. So you still have the MLE. I think it's $5.8 million, right? And you still have the vet minimum.
Right.
Me personally, I'm doing a deal. I'm going to get an all-star. I'm pairing them with Cat and Brunson. And then I'm with you. You get anybody after that. Who wouldn't want to join? Thibodeau not here no more.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. So if you get Dan Hurley, right? So if you get Dan Hurley, you may not be able to get all the vets you want because Dan Hurley's not proven. But if you get a proven head coach, somebody these players know, somebody that has a reputation, then these guys will likely be willing to come and play with Giannis. Say if Giannis is the move. I really like the combo guards that you mentioned, the D'Angelo Russell, the Markelle Fultz, the 6'5", the big sturdy guards to play next to Jalen Brunson. I don't like them, however, if you trade for LaMelo Ball. If you trade for LaMelo Ball, I think the lack of defense from D'Angelo Russell kind of hurts you a little bit.
I would go get him, and I would go get LaMelo Ball and Ben Simmons, and then I would say to Jalen Brunson, hey, yo, you the leader, right? You the captain. Lead. You got to be solid in here now, baby.
Yeah.
Go lead. Joel Embiid. I don't think Joel Embiid is the same leader as Brunson. This is why
Joel Embiid ain't no leader.
But how you feel about that?
Joel Embiid ain't no leader, man. Joel Embiid is a very good NBA player that makes a lot of money, will make the Hall of Fame, but Joel Embiid is not a difference maker, like in that sense of build a team around JoJo. Now, he's not that guy. He showed you that in the very beginning when he had his own team and they had to go get Jimmy Butler. Remember, they didn't get good until Jimmy Butler got there. They had to go get Al Horford. You know what I'm saying? Like, Al Horford is a name I would consider, by the way, not because of his great on-court stuff, but if you need leadership and things of that sort, I'd consider.
Absolutely. That's another name I would look at.
Versatility.
Because the Knicks, you're gonna need one of these young guys to play.
Yeah.
I think that's very important. That's why I looked at a lot of combo guards, and every single player that I have on this list, Knicks fans. How many people's in here? 726 Knicks fans in here.
Yeah.
All of these players on this list, I made sure I respected the CBA, and salute to y'all, everybody who's in here. I appreciate y'all. I didn't know that many Knicks fans would be awake at this time. I practically begged Uncle Freezy. I'm like, no, bro. You I got to get you high up, bro. So Freezy, what's your ideal? Excuse me, sorry. What is your ideal coach? And what is your ideal starting 5 going in the next season? ideal, like if you had everything to go your way, because I could give you mine. Mine is easy.
Can I hear yours first?
Damn, you put me on the spot.
Yeah. It could just so I can have a framework of what it would sound like.
A framework. So it's 2 lineups that I would like die for. The first lineup: Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, Kelly Oubre, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Karl-Anthony Towns. That's the first lineup I would love. The second lineup I would love: LaMelo Ball, Jalen Brunson, OG Anunoby. It's the 4 that kills me. It's the 4. Matter of fact, you know what? OG Anunoby, Kelly Oubre, Karl-Anthony Towns. Because LaMelo Ball played with Kelly Oubre already.
Right.
And with that LaMelo Ball lineup, what I'm banking on is the new coach coming in and he's saying basically, yo, Ball, you nice? So what's up with you? You averaged 2 steals before. Why you ain't averaged that in a couple of years? What's up with you? Yo, Brunson, you good? Yo, what's up with you? And people like, how can we afford Ball? So Ball, I did all of these trades in the trade. Yo, I did all of these on Spo, bro.
Right.
Ball, you could trade a combination. LaMelo Ball, you give up Mikal Bridges and Josh Hart. Why would Charlotte take that? We already said it. Charlotte would take it because they want a culture change, and we're going to build around Brown and Miller. The reason why the Knicks would get it, they would do an underhand deal and say, yo, Charlotte, you're guaranteed to get the 1 pick next year, but you got to show us some love, beloved.
Right.
How you feel about that, though, Uncle Freezy?
I feel like that's a great roster. Right? I feel like that's a great roster if you let Johnny Bryant coach it. How you feel about Johnny Bryant?
That's a great question. And yes, yo, bro, we gotta play 2K, Beasley. You gotta play 2K. You gotta play a little 2K a little bit because we got an open cover right now. Because whatever coach comes in, I'm telling you right now, they're going to say, I'm not trading Brunson. I'm not trading Cat. Yeah. I could work with everything. Everything else, we could work with. I could work with some. But you got it. But I'm telling you, the first ask of the new coach is going to be, can I get another ball handler, please?
Yeah. I'm gonna do this. Since you asked about mine, the thing is, ideally, if we want to take advantage of the talent that we have on the roster, right? I'm trading Josh Hart, even though I love Josh. I love Josh in like a Sour Patch Kids kind of way. Like Josh Hart makes me so mad, I want to just rake my eyeballs out, and then he'll dunk on somebody. And then I'll be like, yeah, Josh. You know what I'm saying? Josh Hart make me want to play in traffic, right? And then he'll get a steal and go coast to coast and get an N1. Right? And you're like, Josh giveth and Josh taketh away. Right? But ideally, I would keep Brunson and Bridges and OG and Cat. And I would try to trade Josh and Precious for a real power forward. And the real power forward that I have in mind is Jaren Jackson Jr., and he only makes $26 million. And that way you can put Jaren Jackson Jr. next to Cat defensively when Cat gets beat off the dribble, and centers will. When you draw them out in the deep water, they will get beat off the dribble, right? It's the reason why you draw them out into deep water, because you get 7-footers going one way, you go the other way, and they out the screen. But Jaren Jackson can erase that. But what he can also do offensively is be your screener, roll man, spot up 3-point shooter. Right?
I don't think Memphis take that. I think Memphis.
No, they're not gonna take that. No, that's not that. That's the money match. That's the money match part. I know you got to throw a sweetener in there. I know you're going to have to throw draft picks.
Michaela OG going to have to go. Off rip.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Well, they going to have to go straight up one-on-one because they ain't getting no more than they not. I think OG is too much for Jaren Jackson off the rip. Right? And then Mikal Bridges, I'm like,
I'm trading one guy with no accolades, only a first team all defense for another guy who won Defensive Player of the Year. I'm trading him for the Defensive Player of the Year. Without question.
Right.
We're not.
I feel you. I feel you. But what we're talking about though is a Defensive Player of the Year, right? And we're talking about, can he help carry a franchise? We know that he can't help carry a franchise, bro, because when Ja was out, Desmond Bain carried a franchise.
That's a fact.
You feel me? Like, I get he won something, bro, and I'm not trying to take that away from him, right? When somebody wins something, man, I'll be like, yeah, do your thing, dog. But listen, nah, bro, you ain't. If I'm not giving up that much for I'd rather see if I can find somebody in the draft then. I'm sorry. And I know Jaren Jackson Jr.'s don't just show up in the draft, but I would rather see if I can sign Marvin Bagley to the MLE and see if he can impact us on the offensive end like Jaren Jackson Jr. do on the defensive end. I'm sorry. I'm just not doing. Yeah,
it's like it's moves that you will want to make, but if I'm Leon Rose, I'm trying to make sure that the other owner that I'm trading with, listen, you're getting the number 1 overall pick. We're gonna slide you some coke. We're gonna make sure you sniff right. We're gonna make sure you smoke right. You good. We're gonna make sure we're gonna treat you very good. That's right. What I mean, Leon Rose. That's what Rob Pelinka did.
Yeah.
I need Leon Rose to give me one of those, man.
He got you. Hey, Leon Rose got you. I promise you, he gonna do something this summer, and we're gonna be doing this right here again. Like, yo, can you believe that dude got Giannis? I promise you, he gonna do that this summer, and not that he gonna get Giannis, but he gonna do something that's gonna make us be like, man, that man is the Don for real.
Because somebody gonna have to go. And in my mind, if you clip Tibbs, you're not trading Brunson, you're not trading Cat, because that's the draw for a new coach. Like they could work with that. Like they could work. And the other draw for the coach is, okay, I still got 4 young guys. But I think what the new coach is going to say, okay, I still need another ball handler. I don't got enough to work with. And then I think that's we'll find out.
Yo, I only got like a few more minutes, man. I'm gonna have to bed down because I gotta get on these phones at 8, bro.
Me too, man. I gotta get out of here soon. So I guess the last question that I would ask you for the night. Shout out to you, Uncle Freezy. I appreciate you tuning in. The last question I got for you for the night, and shout out to the 781 Knicks fans. That's 2 things,
man. Salute y'all.
Who is the coach that Uncle Freezy want? Who unequivocally, after you leave here, because I'm going to share this, who the coach you want? Say, yo, Knicks, give me this guy because I want this guy.
So that's a little complicated for me because Dan Hurley is from our hood, man. Dan Hurley is our guy, right? If not him, I'm just gonna turn to the roster and see who I can get to optimize the roster, right? And the person I think optimizes the roster the most. Now, I'm not saying wins a championship the most. I'm saying optimizes the roster the most is Mike Malone. And the reason why I say Mike Malone is because the Knicks, in a way, are built like the Denver Nuggets, right? A scoring machine, lead guard, right? Right? A wing player, a shooting guard type, whatever, a 2, 3, whatever you want to call it. And I'm talking about the championship year. I'm not talking about this year. When they had KCP, kind of reminds me of a Mikal Bridges light, right? OG Anunoby and Aaron Gordon. Defensively, OG's a better defender. And then at center, if Mike Malone can get that out of Jokic, if Mike Malone is running those split action sets where it's a two-way goal for his big at the top of the key, where you can't blitz it, you have to have one man on the center because you have guys on the wings with your scoring guard looking to get open. I think Cat under Mike Malone is 28-15. Maybe no. Let me step back. 28-13. Right. I think if Cat got some of the looks that Jokic got, if Cat got some of the looks that Jokic got. Now, I'm not saying Jokic is a bad player. Right. I think Jokic is the best player of this generation. But if we can get Cat to be Jokic light, bro, Jalen Brunson's averaging 26, Cat's averaging 26. The Knicks competitive every year. Who can complain? But it ultimately, my heartstring is Dan Hurley.
This Dan Hurley.
Jersey City, man. Jersey City Finest representing, man. Come on.
You know why I rock with you, Freezy? Because the difference of a
I ain't gonna shoot you the gas.
Yes.
I ain't gonna try to finesse you. I ain't gonna try to finesse your audience.
Yes.
Keep it a stack.
Yes.
If I'm wrong, and listen, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll admit I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm not ego tripping. Like, I think it's about the conversation. I think it's about the fandom. I think it's about the love of the Knicks. I think it's about kicking it with 800 people talking about the Knicks, listening to what they have to say, putting it down like that, like representing. Like, we do this every day. This is not like a gig or this is not like, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, fly time for me. I do this because I love it every day.
Yo. Dan Hurley. I want Rajon Rondo.
I like him too.
That is my number one pick for the next New York Knicks head coach.
And he young.
State why you want Rondo. Rondo's the type of guy, and I've been waiting for this kind of guy to come for a few years, right? Rondo's the type of guy that he's going to tell Jalen Brunson, yo, you know what? Yo, go F yourself. Yeah. I need you to pass the ball. Yeah. I don't care. All that extra complaining you doing. I need Rondo, because Rondo gonna look Cat in his eyes. Yo, Cat, I need you to play some defense, huh? What you doing?
Right.
And Cat gonna look at him in his eyes, and he gonna see an NBA champion, and he'll be like, nah, I can't go back on Rajon. And I feel like he's gonna challenge the players. And I feel like Rajon, he's the type of player who's gonna come in and he's gonna. I feel like Leon is gonna give him all autonomy, because you need like not a Tibbs disciple, but somebody who resonates from that the toughness. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, right. I want somebody who's fiery. Like, if we get Rondo, I expect him to be top 3 in Tex next season. Like, but
Tibbs coached them too, by the way.
Absolutely. And that's my number one pick. My second pick is obviously Johnny Bryant.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah, we all want Johnny Bryant. Like Johnny Bryant has been one with the franchise. you
Right.
know, my third overall pick is Jerry Stackhouse.
Love Stackhouse.
Stackhouse. I feel like we could do some things with Stackhouse, man. Stackhouse. He been at Vanderbilt. He been a coach assistant. He been at places.
Got a ring with Toronto.
905, the G League.
Yep.
And I feel like a guy like, Jerry Stackhouse, he would be great. Another guy that I would like, and I don't know how you would feel about this, Freezy, because this last thing we talking about, I'm definitely trying to get you out here. I'm sorry, OG.
No, man.
Adrian Griffin.
Okay.
How you start 32 and like 12 and get fired?
Yeah, I think that whole thing was fishy, bro. It had nothing to do with on-court stuff.
No, not at all.
I think that had to do with some things in his personal life. Even his son retired out of the NBA. Yeah, AJ, even his son retired out of the NBA. I think there's something going on that, that is probably behind the scenes. That's probably is best left behind the scenes.
Right.
So, but I don't know. In terms of the list, I don't know Chris Quinn like that. I hear his name a lot, right? Yes. In terms of Mark Jackson, I think that maybe time has passed Mark Jackson by. I think it's a shame that he was retired and not on his own, but blackballed during his prime years. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson, like during their prime, they get to kind of fight in their prime years. I really like the Rondo idea. I like the Johnny Bryant idea. The thing I will embrace the most, though, is whoever it is, they take advantage of the roster.
Yes.
Like, I don't care if is Budenholzer somewhere? Is Budenholzer fired?
I would love Budenholzer. He's definitely a free agent. I would love Budenholzer as an assistant. I don't need him as the coach, only because he's dealt with a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I think Budenholzer would be a great coach. He would be a great assistant for a guy like Johnny Bryant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Championship, pedigree, get me Budenholzer, get me a guy like
Brett Brown.
Not even Brett Brown. What's dude? Give me Mike Woodson again.
Yeah, he in Sacramento.
Yeah, but I think he would come back. I think he would come back. If Johnny Bryant made that call and say, "Yo, let's come win a ring," I think he would come back. I think the Knicks, their problem really with Tibbs, there's a lot of things. I think one of the main things is he need to relate to the players. And
that's the thing I'm getting at. That's why I say Mike Malone.
Yeah, and there's a thing that comes with your staff and people that's behind the scenes. So, I like the picks that we got. Trying to build the Knicks back together. I think this is a fun time. I don't think Knicks fans should be down. I think the 831 Knicks fans are saying right now, they understand that. Don't be nervous. No. That's my only thing. Uncle Freezy, what's the last things you would say to Knicks fans, and especially older Knicks fans like yourself, who say they're nervous? I get that a lot. I got that from my OG today. He said, "Yo, State, I'm mad nervous, man." I'm like, why are you nervous? You've been through 9/11. You've been through the Twin Towers. You've been through the terrorist attacks. You've been through everything. Like you've been through the cocaine era. You've been through everything. Reagan era. You're like, yo, Thibodeu set the standard. I don't want to sit here and look at the new coach and I regret it 5 years from now, because I don't know if I'm gonna be here 5 years from now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So to that question, what I would say is this: Hey, man, don't look at it. Don't look at it as the end of the road. Look at it as a new beginning. That's the way we need to be looking at this. Like Thibodeu set the stage. Now it's time for us to perform. The stage is set. It's performance time. Whoever we get, legitimately, whoever we get, like whoever is tabbed as the next coach of the New York Knicks, legitimately has one of the best rosters in the NBA. And we shouldn't even be worried. Give whoever that person is, give him some time to implement his stuff and go get this chip. That's just what it is. The gauntlet has been set. Leon Rose was like, this decision wasn't even about such and such and such. It was about the person that gives us the best chance to win a championship. So you already know that they're going to be looking and interviewing championship level coaches.
I hope it's a young guy. Give me a young guy.
Give me a winner.
Yeah, give me a winner. I just want a young guy. Give me somebody that's under 40 years old. That's my preference.
Right.
Doesn't matter about ethnicity. I would love for him to be a minority preference wise. Right. But if he's not a minority, go give me one of those young white boys. Go give me one of those Euro coaches, and let's go to war. You know,
let's get it.
Let's get it. We got a nice little roster, but I'm just warning Knicks fans before me and Freezy get out of here. That new coach will have 3 All-Stars in that starting lineup.
Yeah.
Dolan will make sure he got 3 All-Stars. He's gonna make sure this new coach comes in, because even myself, Freezy, I don't want the new coach to come in without some All-Stars. I want him to come in. All right, I'm good to go. I got some young guys. I could work with that, and I know he gonna get somebody. So, Freezy, thank you, man. Appreciate you for pulling up, man.
Yeah. Hey, yo, y'all check out your family on YouTube, Lawrence Tears at Big Freezy on X. Make sure y'all follow, subscribe. Make sure y'all continue to support State, man. Hit that like button, man. Share, follow, subscribe, all those things, man. We trying to get to a place, and without y'all, we can't get to that place. So I definitely appreciate y'all comments, y'all feedback, and everything, man. And stay on that. I'm gonna get out of here, get me some rest. I'm gonna end the show on the other side and go get me some rest, bro.
Yo, appreciate you, man. Appreciate man. Love you, man.
Yeah, man.
Yo, appreciate you, man. No doubt,
No doubt.
Yo, man, he's one of the greatest, man. He's one of the best, man. That whole, Knicks at Night podcast. I love what he do. I love what a lot of Knicks fans do. I love what Tibbs has done. Once again, walk on Hall of Famer. But it was time. It was time for him to go. And I'm glad Leon Rose made that decision. Now, I disagree with Uncle Freezy as far as who the coaches need to be. I'm under the preference that I want a young coach. I want a young minority, or give me a young white boy or a young Euro, and I want to roll with that. That's just me. But with that said, Knicks fans, love you guys. I'm out of here. Peace and blessings. Shouts to Uncle Freezy, man. Uncle Freezy, you the GOAT. You the GOAT, man. But Knicks fans, shouts to Jean Grey. Oh, I pointed to the wrong person. Bruce Lee right there. Shouts to Bruce Lee. And I got Jean Grey right here. Hopefully soon, man, I have some more. But I'm out of here, man. Peace and blessings, everybody. Shouts to my guy Mike, Unseen Harlem, all the time. Shouts to my guy Mike, Foster Project. Shouts to my guy Munch. Everybody. Make sure you go to the liquor store, 55 Malcolm X Boulevard. Make sure you go to my website, SYK Printify Me merch. Make sure you go look at the Substack articles. I'm gonna have about 3 come out this week. I'm gonna have fun with those, but Knicks fans, love y'all. Peace and blessings.